Pets Add Life, your guide to the latest in pet trends, products, and the joy of the human-animal bond, with Kristen Levine and Chris Bonifati, powered by the American Pet Products Association and Dog TV.
All right, welcome to another episode of Pets Add Life. I am Chris Bonifati, joined as always by the passionate and perfectionist Kristen Levine. Kristen, how are we doing today?
Oh, we're doing great, and you sound great today. You got new headphones.
We've got all sorts of new gear here flowing in. Here's the thing a lot of people don't know about podcasters is I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no idea. I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know how microphones work. I don't know how to set up a camera. But we got some new gear that was very easy to just plug it into the slot. And it started working.
Yeah.
So
Ron has to get us gear that we can set up. This idiot proof that we can set up on our own because we do not know what we're doing with the technology.
Yeah, because I am a techno idiot and I will break it and I will cause all sorts of malfunctions. But look at us in crystal clear 1080. So folks, if you're listening to this, you should be watching it.
Absolutely.
You should be watching it on Dog TV or YouTube, or there's going to be a new Amazon Fast channel I hear in the works where you're going to be able to watch our faces as a marathon, which is, I'm sure, all of you have been dreaming about the day you can binge watch the PAL podcast.
Yeah, I was just going to say, binge it, baby. Binge it.
Binge the whole damn thing. You could get your 2024 year in a review by just listening it through like the lens of the PAL podcast. I couldn't think of a better way than to step through time than through our little pod. But hey, we've got a great episode lined up for you folks. We've got a repeat guest. Not going to spoil who that is, but we got a repeat guest. Always good to have somebody back. And we're gonna do two stories as always, two products as always, answer two of your questions. I think it's gonna be a good one, Kristen.
I'm looking forward to it. Let's do it.
Kristen and Chris present Storytime.
Okay, it's story time, Chris.
It is. It's time for stories. Why don't you go ahead and tee us off here?
All right. So I don't know that this is so much a story as, something I kind of was researching because it has been so cold across the country. I mean, Midwest, Northeast, Southeast, even Florida even got snow a couple weeks ago. So my dog Tulip will not go outside unless she absolutely cannot hold it anymore. So I was trying to think of some new fun things we could do inside. And I found this great article from it's called Daily Paws. And they have like a whole list of 15 different cold weather indoor activities you can do. So there's a couple I'm going to try. I'm not going to share all 15, but I thought these were kind of fun. You can build an agility course with things around your house, like blankets, boxes, maybe ottomans or chairs that are easy to move around, and kind of walk your dog through it and walk them through it a few times and see if you can get them to where they can do the course themselves. The Magic Cups game. This is going to be fun because I already do a version of this with Tulip with Amazon boxes. But you just grab 3 solo cups, put a tennis ball or a smaller ball under one of the cups and do the old, switcheroo and see if your dog can pick the right one. Give them a treat if they do. So that's going to engage their brain, obviously. Mm-hmm. And you can make your own snuffle box. That's we usually talk about snuffle mats. I know we've featured a few of those on our product of the week, but you can actually take a box and stuff it with tissues or who has newspaper, but paper, packing paper, and then sprinkle kibble in there and just watch your dog dig around and find the treats. So those are just a few fun, mental engaging tricks, activities that you can do when it's too cold outside.
It sounds fun for people too. If you're bored, if you're stuck in the house in a snowstorm, you lose power. We lost internet yesterday morning, and it was the most devastating 2 hours of my life. I think, I like that idea of setting up the little agility course. So it's like a fun little project.
What would entice you, Chris, to use a human snuffle box? Like what would we have to drop in the box for you to dive headfirst in there?
Oh, that probably alcohol. Like a
I would dive for alcohol too.
yeah, like a shallow dog bowl of a good scotch. Yeah,
There you go.
I think that would work for me.
All right, let's sober up and hear your story.
Yeah, my story this Sunday is the Super Bowl, but way more importantly, it's the Puppy Bowl. And I love talking about the Puppy Bowl because it is one of the most successful drive to adoptions that we've ever come up with in the United States. It's a brilliant piece of marketing. And there's a whole bunch of ways that you can engage with the Puppy Bowl. Right now, they're on the final round of voting for the popularity contest. So you can head on over to their website. I'm going to put the link in the show notes, of course, and you could vote for your favorite dog, play favorites for a little bit. But also what it does is you can look through all the dogs' profiles and see a little bit about where they're from and the rescue they're from. What ends up happening, we actually in Norwalk, we have a rescue that's participating. And people, the way it works is people see, oh, this rescue is participating from, close by me. I really wanted a dog. Let me go check them out. And it just encourages people to rescue their dogs instead of, adopt, don't shop. I just think it is really great. And, if your team starts losing the Super Bowl, flip on over to the Discovery Network. No one's judging. Right. The party that I go to has 2 TVs. And so we watch both at the same time.
Oh,
which is, and if the game really gets stale, we switch the audio over to the Puppy Bowl.
And the other great thing is you don't even have to like football to watch the Puppy Bowl.
Yes, there are. Apparently, there's rules. I don't think so. It's kind of like, have you ever read Calvin and Hobbes with Calvin Ball? It's kind of like that, where there's rules, but they're constantly
suggestions,
changing.
really.
Yeah, like the Pirates Code from Pirates of the Caribbean. Really suggestions. So I'll definitely be watching. I hope you will be too. And if you're out there listening to our show, considering getting a new dog, I hope you consider rescuing.
Beyond the Leash, exploring the untold stories of pet passion and professionalism.
We are joined now by a repeat guest. We have very few repeat guests, so he must be good. Dr. Don Sturz, a globally renowned figure in the world of dogs and dog shows, having been immersed in the sport since childhood. He has bred, owned, and handled all breed and specialty best in show winners in numerous breeds, including golden retrievers, miniature poodles, and Pembroke Welsh corgis. He's currently the president of the Westminster Kennel Club, and I heard there's a little event happening quite soon with the Westminster Kennel Club. We're going to be talking about that. Beyond his achievements in the ring, Dr. Sturz is an advocate for philanthropy, animal welfare, and inclusivity in the dog community. His personal journey highlights the profound impact dogs can have on personal growth and well-being. Dr. Sturz champions diversity while fostering a love of dogs in the next generation. It is such a pleasure to have you back on the podcast. Welcome, Don.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be back. It's good to see you guys.
Yeah, so I want to jump right on into the big one. We've got the 149th Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show. It's opening this weekend. What can viewers expect from this year's event? Is there anything new, any fun surprises, anything you want to tease out on the show today?
Yeah, just a few things.
How much time do you have?
I think the biggest news is the return of the Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show presented by Purina Pro Plan to its home in New York City. The last time we were able to be there was in 2020. So for the last 5 years, we've been displaced. COVID hit, we couldn't be indoors. We pivoted, we went, to the Lyndhurst Estate in Tarrytown, and we tried to get back to New York City, and we technically got there. We were in Queens at the Tennis Center for 2 years, which was fabulous. But Westminster's historical home is Madison Square Garden. Its first show in 1877 was at Gilmore Gardens, which is the initial, the OG Madison Square Garden. And it stayed with that facility through all of its reiterations and location changes. And so, coming up on the horizon, as you can figure, is our 150th anniversary next year in
the
2026. So we wanted to get back home for that. And so that was really the goal. And we had to find a facility that could also help us out with the daytime. So Madison Square Garden is where the groups and best in show finals will be on Monday and Tuesday night, February 10th and 11th. During the day, on February 10th and 11th for the breed judging, will be at the Javits Center, which is a brand new venue for us. It's a spectacular, huge, fabulous place. And so we're really excited about that. On Saturday, February 8th, will be our canine celebration, which will also take place at the Javits Center. That day is a lot of fun. That's our Masters Agility Championship. We've got over 300 dogs competing in that from all over the world. We've got our Masters Obedience Championship. We've got our demonstration ring is back with herding dogs and search and rescue dogs and Dog Show 101. We threw in a little fun thing called the Human Agility Course. So people can kind of go and run a course as if they are the dogs in the agility competition in the main ring. And then new this year is the flyball tournament. And the flyball tournament is really exciting. It's kind of like a relay race. There are 15 teams with 4 dogs each. There'll be 60 dogs competing from all over the United States and Canada. And each team, the 4 dogs do a relay. They run down, they jump over a series of jumps, hurdles. And at the end, there's a contraption that shoots out a tennis ball. The dog has to grab the tennis ball and then run back and jump over all the hurdles. And then the next dog goes. And so it's a lot of fun. It's exciting. It's high energy. It's really noisy. But I keep reminding my staff, we call it canine celebration. It's not a party unless it's noisy, right?
Yes.
So
right.
that's what we're going with. So Saturday is, kind of a celebratory vibe. With all of these performance events and, high level competition, but also, a wonderful opportunity for, individuals to come and see dogs do what they do and see other ways in which they might, engage in activities with their dogs. Because these are all things anybody could do with their dogs. And then also at Javits Center, we'll have what we're calling the marketplace, which is where the Westminster merchandise store is. So if you want your Westminster merch, shop early because the stuff flies off the shelves. And we've got our sponsors there. Purina Pro Plan will have their big sponsor booth. We've got Cosequin. We've got Field Turf is back. They're our official turf provider. So all of the turf that you'll see the dogs competing on at Javits and Madison Square Garden is from them, and we're really grateful for that. We've also got Zymox, Bravecto. We've got a great thing going on with Muck Boots. They've sent Muck Boots out to a number of the exhibitors at random and asked them to send back photos of them walking their dogs wearing Muck Boots, because Muck Boots is the official dog walker boot for Westminster. So watch for that on social media. And then we've also just partnered with Mug Root Beer, which is really, really cool.
Yes.
So we're really excited about that. They will be obviously, pitching Mug Root Beer. Their mascot dog will be on site. And so that should prove to be a lot of fun as well.
That's a real celebrity endorsement right there.
There we go. So a lot of good stuff. And the crown jewel is obviously the dog show on Monday and Tuesday and the breed judging. There's 2,500 champions competing from all over the world. Wow. Just to get in is an accomplishment because it's a limited entry. So we had to turn away almost 400 entries because we overdrew.
Wow.
It's like, we're back, in Midtown, you're near Broadway, and it was clearly one of the hottest tickets, right? People are trying hard to get in and not everybody did. So that's, the first step on the journey. And so these dogs will compete during the day in their breeds. And then each best of breed winner will move on to compete in the finals in their group in the evenings at Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena. So a lot of cool, exciting stuff. I think you can hear it in my voice. I'm ready to roll.
Yeah.
It's almost go time. Yeah.
Welcome back home. So Don, the Westminster Kennel Club also engages in some philanthropic efforts, like the
Yes.
Purple Leash Initiative. So can you talk a little bit more about some of these that are going on
Sure.
and the impact they make?
Yeah, that's a really important aspect of Westminster. We refer to it as Westminster Cares. It's our umbrella for all of the different kinds of things that we do. One of the things that the Purple Leash is a project that we support through Purina Pro Plan, and that's a program that provides funding to create shelters that are pet friendly, because so many individuals in dangerous, abusive situations can't leave. It's hard enough to leave under any circumstances, as we know. It's a big decision, a hard decision. But it's made even more complicated if you can't take your pet with you. You don't want to leave your pet in that abusive situation. So the Purple Leash Project is out there to try to create more pet-friendly shelters for those trying to get away from abusive, dangerous situations. So we're very, very proud of that project.
Yep.
Then we also just did a number of donations to some of the organizations providing help and support out in LA in response to the fires. We made a $10,000 donation to the Los Angeles County Animal Care Foundation, and also a $10,000 donation to the Pasadena Humane Society to try to help them with the good work that they're doing out there, to attempt to reunite, pets with their families that may have been displaced in all of that chaos, right? So our hearts go out to all of them. We have our scholarships that we put out for our junior handler winners. We have our our junior showmanship finals drew 99 juniors competing this year from all over the country, and they work real hard all year to qualify to compete. They have to have a significant number of best junior handler wins throughout the qualifying period, and so these are literally the top juniors in the country. And we celebrated the 90th anniversary of junior showmanship last year at Westminster, and that's really important to me. I grew up in it. I did it, and I know it made a big difference in my life on many different levels. And so I feel strongly, that Westminster continue to make that a focus of its activities. And so we continue with those scholarship awards for the juniors who place in the finals. And we have a number of veterinary scholarships that go out. We also have our Vet of the Year award, which makes a $10,000 donation in the name of the winner to Not One More Vet, which is an organization which supports mental and emotional health of veterinarians. Because as we know, it's a really stressful profession. And I think people forget that, that it's, it can sometimes be a very lonely profession. It's very different from being, a physician for humans, where humans interact with you and tell you what's wrong and, give you, as the doctor, a sense of symptoms and so on, and whether they're feeling better or not. The veterinarian is often, going on intuition and sense, and it can be a really difficult job, a really difficult life. And in those situations, it's not unusual, right? Unending stress leads to mental and emotional struggles. And so this Not One More Vet organization does outreach to support vets, to try to minimize, those circumstances. So, so these are some of the things that, that Westminster does. And, as things pop up, like this unfortunate catastrophe in LA, Westminster, tries to respond and be a part of the solutions by providing financial support.
That's a lot of really great stuff. It's always warms my heart to see, successful organizations sharing that love and supporting really important things, especially what you talked about with, veterinarians' mental health. That's something that doesn't see a lot of support. So you guys jumping in and raising awareness is absolutely amazing. Before we let you go, Don, this is 149. But we got 150 coming up. The world of dog shows is growing in popularity. What's the future look like for both Westminster and the culture of showing dogs?
Well, I think for us, this 149, we are kind of looking at it as the dress rehearsal for the big one next year, the 150th, and we've tried to hold back, some surprises, to make that 150th, special and unique. Excuse me. So, people can watch for that. I mean, we're already working on it. So that's, very front of mind for all of us on the Westminster team. But I think, just when you talk about, like, say, the fact that Westminster overdrew by 400 entries, it shows that the sport is still very viable and very healthy. And, people, there's just a universal love of dogs. And to me, the dog show world is just a microcosm of that, larger part of our society where, dogs are part of our families. And, dogs give us unconditional love. Dogs, improve our physical and mental health. They're just so integral to our existence and always have, right? Dogs have always been a part of the human journey from, early on in primitive times. So it's I think just the dog shows are just a kind of an offshoot of that bigger picture and a place where people can come together, right? It gives you a common focus, a common event to celebrate, that's built around this, universal love. And, Westminster, does enjoy this, very special recognition as the most famous, most iconic dog show in the world. Literally, people and dogs come from all over the world to be there, both to compete and to be there as spectators, just to experience it. And also, seek it out, on all the different media platforms. So, it's quite something. When I sit back and when I talk to you like that, sometimes it hits me like, wow, this is huge.
It is. It's a global event.
Yeah. Well, Don, thank you so much for joining us today. I know Chris is going to get to enjoy some of the show here.
I'll be there.
Oh, great. Cool. Come find me, please.
Yeah, I definitely will. If you're too busy, too bad. I'm going to find you anyway.
I will definitely swing by the booth for sure.
That sounds great. Yeah, I can't wait. It's always such a special part of my year to be able to visit and see it all. And so I just can't wait. It's going to be a great day.
Well, Westminster is really grateful for our partnership with Dog TV, and we're thrilled that you're going to be there.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you, Don. We'll see you.
Thanks, Don.
Hey, thanks to everybody.
And, we didn't get a chance to talk about this while we had Don on, but on Dog TV, there's the whole vault of Westminster shows going all the way back to like black and white shows. You can watch all this awesome historical content, and you could binge watch. You could catch up, see what all the hype is about. Whether you're new to dog shows or you are you're an absolute aficionado and you just love the history of it. I just think it's a really cool thing that they have on Dog TV. And like I said, I'll be there, so we'll be bringing you some awesome content from the Westminster show as well.
And I will have FOMO. For sure.
Yes.
Didn't get to join you this year, but maybe next. I'm going to join you for 150. That's for sure.
For 150. Yeah. Chris will have fun. Kristen will have FOMO, and all of you will be the better for it.
All right. Joining us now is Dr. Emily Hubbard, a seasoned veterinary professional and the Chief Medical Officer at Veterinary Innovative Partners. Now, this is a growing network of nearly 70 veterinarian-owned and operated hospitals across 12 different states. Now, with a decade of very diverse experience, Dr. Hubbard has worked as an associate veterinarian, as a single and multi-unit medical director, and a regional director of medical quality, overseeing over 200 veterinarians. Wow. At VIP, she leads medical operations, enhances veterinary training, and develops strategies to empower vet teams while ensuring exceptional patient care, which, of course, is what our listeners are most interested to learn more about. And I just wanted to add that Dr. Hubbard is passionate about combating the burnout that is taking place in the veterinary profession and supporting vets with resources, mentorship, and the autonomy to create better work-life balance. She's based in Nashville, Tennessee. Let's welcome Dr. Hubbard. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
We're excited to have you. I'll just kick it off here by asking you about, so your career path has been really dynamic. You've held a lot of roles, and you're very, very young. So you've done a lot in your young career. So what inspired you to take this path in pursuing leadership roles with vets?
So I think that in my clinical experience, because I did it for over a decade, that I realized I loved impacting, of course, the pet parents and the pets, but that I really was called to help and develop and impact the other doctors. So as I would go and coach like baby doctors or get them used to things, I realized I can do more if I just join that leadership path. And I just tried it, and I slowly got more experience, and I just fell in love with it more and more and more. And I do miss my little furry patient sometimes, but I always feel so good because I know that I can develop someone else to take care of so many more pets than I could alone.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes a lot of sense to me. But we mentioned at the top of the show overseeing 200 veterinarians. I mean, I have trouble like developing my meal plan for the week, and you're helping 200 people.
True
What
story.
are some of the challenges that go into taking on such a heavy burden?
Oh gosh. So really one of the biggest challenges is trying to just remember everybody does everything differently.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I think, what's special about, where I am with VIP right now, that I still want to have everybody maintain their autonomy. They can still practice the way they want to, do what they want to do. And my job is really kind of gathering themes or threads and creating that gold standard or just a basic standardization. So I get a lot of feedback. I ask for feedback all the time, constantly. What could we do better? What are we doing well? What do you want to see? And then I am bringing that all together. So really everything I do is based off of feedback.
You sound like a really great boss.
No kidding.
There's probably a lot of listeners being like, damn, why can't my boss be like that?
I try. I mean, of course, everybody's opinions, everything doesn't always go into the bucket to be able to do, but everybody deserves a chance to be heard.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I know that VIP focuses on combating burnout and improving the work-life balance for veterinarians. For our listeners who are primarily pet parents, can you explain how veterinarians find themselves burning out and trying to strive for that work-life balance? Because I don't think pet parents, obviously we see it very differently when we take our own pets to the vet, but help us understand what it's like on the other side.
That's a great question. So for pet parents, I think that one big thing I just want to share is that I guarantee your veterinarians that, see your pets every day, they are putting on their best self for you. They really are. They love your babies, your fur babies. They love their job. They love what they do, but it's an emotional roller coaster. Sometimes, unfortunately, we have pets we have to say goodbye to, and maybe that's a euthanasia. You put your best face on, and you are there with that pet parent, and then maybe the next room that you see is a brand new puppy. And you're so excited to see the brand new puppy, but you just also sat and cried with that previous pet parent. So it's really just a roller coaster, and I think that over time, that really can wear on you. And so as a natural inclination, we as veterinarians, we have big hearts and we want to do the best. And we're also very, if you don't already know this, we are very, very type A people. We want to do the best at everything we do all the time. So just think about that from that perspective, that we want to do it right every single time, and we also want to show up best for you in these moments of extreme emotional ups and downs. So again, that is really when we talk about that work-life balance, we throw ourselves into work, and if we're not taking care of ourselves in a way that is fulfilling for us, then we can't give to our pets and pet parents the way we want to. So again, it's a balance. It's not always perfect, but it's a very important piece.
Yeah, that's some great perspective. And beyond burnout, there's obviously a whole slew of challenges that the modern veterinary practitioner is experiencing right now. What are some of those other challenges that VIP is looking to address? And is there any way that we as pet parents can help support those concerns?
Ooh, yes. So one big thing that has really started showing that is a need in our vet world is the need to accommodate all the demand. We have so many pets out there, and we want to see them. We want to be efficient. We want to do the right thing. One challenge I'll just share for probably almost all of your veterinarians out there is how do we make sure we uphold really great medical quality decisions, have conversations, and have a good medical record? So we are actually leaning into AI technology. And at VIP, that's actually something that we are starting to roll out and starting to use to help our doctors be able to have those great conversations and not miss anything. And what that looks like is basically systems that help support us to maybe as pet parents, it can put together some information that you can take home, or maybe it will email you a summary of what we talked about. So I think that my ask from our pet parents is be open-minded. Be open-minded for us with new tools. I think that these are very different from what we used to use, and it's only going to help us help you better.
Yeah, I'm glad that you talked about AI. It's so exciting what we're going to be able to do.
It is so exciting. I can't wait.
So, Doc, what's been the most fulfilling aspect of your role as Chief Medical Officer at VIP so far, and what excites you about the future of veterinary medicine?
Oh, yeah.
Besides AI.
Clearly that is exciting. So I think that what I've really enjoyed specifically about VIP in my new role is that I have the ability to create. And I know that sounds so funny in a science-based world, I guess, but I can create training, I can create systems, I can create what is needed in our hospitals. And I think that's been so exciting. And that kind of goes back to the feedback piece. My way might not always be the right way. So like, what's the right way for our teams and for our doctors? So I think that having that freedom and having that support has been just thrilling. So really the possibilities are endless with our docs, and they just have to open up and tell us what they need.
Yeah, it's always great to be able to tap into your creative side, especially in positions where that's not really something that happens too often. I don't think a lot of people hear veterinarian and think, "Oh, yeah, that's a creative job."
So true.
Yeah, and we're coming up on time here, but I do want to ask you one more question before we let you go, Doc. And we have a whole broad range of listeners out there, some who may be considering going into the veterinary practice career and veterinary medicine fields. What advice do you have for a young person who may be sitting at home listening to the sultry tones of Chris and Kristen and thinking, yeah, I'm going to grow up and become a vet?
Oh, I love it. Okay, so that is funny that you ask, because I actually just had my niece and I just had this conversation. She's in high school right now. Like literally just had this conversation. It was much longer, but I'll give you the nutshell. So I pretty much told her, I said, right now is where you really just need to get yourself some experience. Go and volunteer. Go to some shelters. Go follow a doctor that you've seen with your pets for years. Really just kind of expose yourself, because it always sounds like a great idea, which it is, to be a veterinarian. But I think that getting our hands dirty is really, really important. And then also the other piece in a nutshell that I gave her was start taking care of yourself now. Start taking care of yourself and start finding those hobbies and the loves and things that you just can't wait to do when you're done with work. Because again, It's such an amazing profession, but we have to remember it is a job. It's not us, and it's not our life or our identity. So those are the two big nuggets.
That's some killer advice. I'm writing that down. That last one I'm writing down. I am not my job. I am not a podcast host. I am more than a microphone.
Dr. Hubbard, thank you so much for all that you're doing to support veterinarians, empower them so that they can show up as their best selves for our pets when we need
you're
them.
doing great work. And thanks for taking the time out of your busy, busy day.
Thank you.
Pets add life.
I'm telling you, Kristen, 2025 guests, all bangers. All
They
bangers.
are, man. You know, I feel sorry for the next guest having to talk that.
It's actually interesting. I just had to bring Tiger to the vet yesterday, and she's fine. Everybody, don't worry, she's fine. She ended up being a UTI, but a moment of panic when you see blood in your cat's urine. And I only looked. She was in and out of the box nonstop, right? And we got that question a lot. And I do know enough I always say, if this thing is happening, take your animal to the vet. So I call over and I say, hey, I don't know if it's an emergency. Do you have any same day appointments? And they took me at 5:45, and I've seen that same doctor at 8:30 in the morning. Wow. So she's working ridiculous hours, long days, squeezing people in when there's concerns. And they took care of Tiger. Tiger's fine. She woke up this morning feeling, they gave her an antibiotic shot. She feels completely okay now. And vets are the best because I feel a lot better now. I'm able to come on this show and make a lot of jokes because I know my kitty cat is home and healthy.
Oh, fantastic.
The product of the week.
All right, it's time for the product of the week. And this week, I'm bringing you something that is pretty cool and inexpensive, actually. So it's an animal brush, and my least favorite part of brushing my cat is having to get the hair out of the brush. Mm-hmm. Like once you get it all, and now it's just like this mess. So this is a brush from, I want to pronounce this properly, Hertzco. And it's like this nice purple brush, good for dogs, good for cats. But what makes it just a little different is there's a button you push and it retracts the bristles and the hair just falls right out. So it's on Amazon right now for $17. $17, which is just as expensive as any other brush that we've ever recommended on this podcast. The self-cleaning is really great, especially if you've got one of those thick winter coats on your animals. And to save the time, because I know even with Tiger right now, because she has her winter coat in, and I spend as much time pulling the hair out of the brush and putting it into the trash as I do brushing her. So I'm considering getting this. Somebody with allergies, I mean, I've been stuffy this entire time with her shedding and shedding and shedding. There is never any end. So I'm looking for any advantage I could get. So I'm going to be checking this one out. Link, as always, in the show notes.
That's a good one. They should make those for people brushes too.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Sometimes I look at my wife's hairbrush in horror. It's like some type of eldritch horror. I wouldn't be surprised if some type of Cthulhu monster emerged from there. So yeah, maybe they should.
Okay, so I have an inexpensive product too to share. Now, February is Pet Dental Health Month, and we've probably talked about this on the show, probably last February, but just as a reminder, periodontal disease affects over 80% of dogs and 70% of cats by age 3. So it's one of the most common health issues in pets. And it all starts because of that plaque buildup that leads to gingivitis. And ultimately, if it's untreated or, unmanaged, it can cause tooth loss and serious health problems. So I discovered this really cool cat treat. It's called a treat brush instead of a toothbrush. And it's just it looks like a cat toy. I don't even know how to describe it. So you'll have to check it out. It's sort of like a feather toy. It's got like a squiggly thing on the bottom, and the middle has this really cool like floss engineering where the cats, as they're playing with it and chewing on it, it's actually brushing their teeth. Ooh. And it has patent pending floss slots. and a plush toothbrush design. I went on this company's website, which, by the way, where's the name? Oh, it's called Get Chewmate. Get CHEWMATE. Get Chewmate. They actually have a video of how it works. It like really close up, so you can really see that it actually does brush the teeth. Really cool. And right now you can get a 2-pack for only $9. So I thought that was a great one. There's tons of dental products on the market because, as we all know, it's very difficult to brush your dog or cat's teeth if you haven't been doing it since they were younger. But this sounds like a really good one. Oh, and by the way, it was designed by a human dentist and his hygienist. So there you go.
That sounds great. Mm-hmm. Cat's breath stinks. It does. Anything to help clean the teeth.
Q&As.
All right, folks, it's time. That's right. It's time for our favorite segment of this show, where we answer 2 burning questions from our dear listeners. And I know what you're thinking. Hey, how the heck do I get Chris and Kristen to answer my question? Well, it's quite simple. You're going to head on over to petsaddlife.org/podcast, fill out the form, or hey, listen, if you're as brave as one of those little doggos performing in the puppy bowl, then you can have your voice recorded as a voice memo, submit it, and you may hear your question played live on this show. And while you're over on the Pets Ad Life website, check out all the other awesome pet ownership resources, some information, the Find Your Pet quiz, some really great stuff. So check it out while you're there. But without further ado, Kristen, are you ready for a question?
I'm ready. Hit me with it.
All right, here we go. I've got a question here from Jenna, who is in Portland, Oregon. And Jenna asks, "Hi, Kristen and Chris." It's Chris and Kristen, but sure. But sure. Just saying, sure. I'm thinking about getting a bunny as a pet for the first time. What are some key things I should know before bringing one home, and how can I create a safe and happy environment for them?
Hey, Jenny, I love this question. We don't get bunny questions. That might be the first bunny question, actually. Okay, so a couple of things I would say at the start is that rabbits are social animals. So I would recommend, if you're going to get a bunny, that you consider adopting a bonded pair. And if they're not already spayed and neutered, please spay and neuter. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a bunch of bunnies. You'll also want to make sure that your home is kind of bunny proofed. So you'll want to hide any electrical cords and toxic plants. And bunnies are like an 8+ year commitment. They really can live 8 to 12 years typically when well cared for. But aside from that, you want to make sure that you have a living space for them that's at least, they usually say 4 times the size of the bunny. So obviously the bunny needs to be able to, do their business in one corner, because they don't typically do their business where they eat. So make sure they've got plenty of room, and you can litter box train a bunny too. So it's great to make sure that you give them out of the cage time too, so that they can get exercise. And I have a girlfriend who recently went through a divorce, and one of her kind of forms of therapy and going through this difficult time in her life was she adopted 2 bunnies. And she is so crazy about bunnies, and she now has 4 bunnies, and she posts about them on Instagram all the time, and she's absolutely in love with them. And it's really cute to watch these relationships develop. So I think bunnies are great pets. So good luck with it. And let us know if you do adopt a pair, hopefully a pair.
That is great advice as always, Kristen. I've got nothing to add. I had a cousin who had a bunny, but I did not help take care of it, and I was very, very young. So I would listen to Kristen on that one, Jenna. Thank you for the question.
Yeah, good luck, Jenna. Okay, so Chris, I have a question from you. This one comes from Mark in Austin, Texas. Mark says, "Hi there, my dog Max is constantly scratching and biting at his skin. It seems like he's super itchy all the time. What could be causing this, and how can I help him feel more comfortable?"
Yeah, so my parents' dog also has a lot of skin issues going on. And number one cause, allergies. Straight up. Dogs can be allergic to a whole lot of stuff that's outside. So in my parents' case, when they moved, that's when the dog developed some skin issues, because there were some grasses that were up there that weren't where they had originally lived that was irritating the dog. So if you're able to identify when and where they're getting these irritations, and it does end up being allergies, keeping them away from that kind of stuff can help. There's also all sorts of balms and creams that you could use to help alleviate the itching. The thing that you have to be careful of is the obsessive scratching. Just like with a person, if you keep scratching at a wound or an itchy spot, it just gets worse. And dogs' nails are real dirty, so the risk of infection is quite high. The cone of shame is an option, though there are less humiliating products out there that can help prevent the dog from either biting or scratching that area. Bandaging it could be an option. And if you can't find a way to either A, stop it from happening, B, stop the dog from really going after it, or C, it just continues to get worse and finding new spots, it's time to bring the dog to the vet. There's all sorts of things that it could be, but they're going to be able to guide you and provide some relief for your dear dog, Max.
Yeah, great advice. And I'm glad you mentioned the part about the the secondary infection that can be caused from the
that's what'll really get you.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think, Kristen, that brings us to the end of our show.
Oh, already?
Yeah,
Wow.
I know. Time flies when you're having fun. Time also flies when you're sitting at a desk recording a podcast. The two are not necessarily mutually exclusive, but hey, folks, remember, this is our job. We're out here working for you all. All right, we're bringing you the best and brightest in the pet industry. All the painstaking research that we do, our years of cumulative experience, it's all yours for free 99 wherever you get your podcasts or videos. It's an incredible opportunity.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears goes into this show.
Lots of blood, sweat, and tears. None of them mine.
They're all Ron's.
They're all Ron's. But thank you all so much, as always, for listening to us. We're going to be back. Don't worry, we're back next Tuesday. And until then, be kind to yourself, be kind to animals, and we'll talk to you in a week.
Rover and out.
Oh, God. Rover and out? I love it.